It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula One World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. The Hungaroring, it's like Monaco without the boats. 14 corners, 6 to the left and 8 to the right, and some very tricky corners to deal with. These rainy conditions out there aren't going to help either, so it's very likely we'll see a safety car or two during today's race. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we discuss McLaren? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Gasly, Carlos Sainz, and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Norris, Perez, and Valtteri Bottas, Stroll, Gardner, Alexander Albon, and Ocon, Magnussen, Kvyat, Giuliano Alesi, and Nobuharu Matsushita, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Latifi, and Nick de Vries. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Welcome to another JDM Racing F1 2020 My Team Racing video. I put extra racing in there, don't know why. Anyway, we're at Hungaroring this time out, and we are 12th on the grid. George did a great job getting into third. We just didn't have the same pace as him throughout practice, throughout qualifying. He was super quick. We struggled to get on a level with him, so I don't know if that's to do with the setup. Probably to do with the setup. But I also feel like it's a wet race now, so anything can happen. So looking forward to trying to make up some places in the race and see if we can get just any kind of decent points haul to catch up with Red Bull and keep McLaren at bay. Trying to keep the third place in the constructors, maybe go for the second. Front row, Mercedes, I mean, it's locked out. Their car is so good, and Max and Lewis are just fighting each other for the title, so provided there's no coming togethers between them two, we're looking at a best of third for George. If we can get top 6, that would be great today, but we'll see. I mean, it's wet, so again, anything can happen, but we're gonna go for it. 19.8 laps. Let's just do it. Go then. Cheeky little boost in behind the course. Yeah, racing point. Sailing down the inside. Up to 6th. There's a couple of people coming together there. Tap the McLaren.
Nice start. Let's keep it up.
Dive up the inside. Legal, apparently. Up to 4th. if George can get on the back of these Mercedes then. Wow, big snap of oversteer there. That was scary. We're a tenth off Max's speed at the moment. Tucked in behind George right now. Nothing too crazy going on.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button more.
We're doing consistent 33.9s. Just trying to stay close enough to capitalize on any mistake. Not too close that you lose downforce. You get lost in the spray. It's hard. The inside here, maybe, no. Put the power down too early there. Lit the back tyres up.
Hamilton has just put up the fastest lap of the race so far.
Slow through there. twitchy there.
The tyre situation is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now. We have a very worn-out MG UK. Our battery charge speed is suffering, and if it gets much worse, we could be forced to retire.
Let's chuck one at the inside here. Got it. That was very, very risky. Worth the fun.
Power from the engine is going to be down slightly. It's showing some minor wear. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
So Hamilton and Verstappen duking it out up front. We'll keep setting the fastest laps. Overshot that one though. Weather report.
Light rain will stay with us for at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay. Inters and wets will probably have similar pace at the moment.
Probably not worth the gamble going switching to inters just yet.
Our gap to the car in front is 4.1 seconds.
And our fight is not really with the Mercedes, it's with Red Bull and McLaren. We've got them covered off at the moment, so I don't want to risk pitting,
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
coming out and trying to get the Mercedes when we don't need to. Close back up. We drop right off the back of Verstappen again. We had a bad couple of laps there. Feels like our rear tyres have gone. probably pushed too hard in the middle sector there, of the race, of the lap. You see Gasly in the background there. I feel like our tyres have gone off a lot quicker than George's have. I'm going to let George go. We're going to try and rear gunner this 4th place.
It's not a perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
George did seem quicker than us all of a sudden, so we're going to let him go through. We're just going to consolidate this 3rd and 4th. Make sure we get the podium. George is in better shape car-wise. Makes sense for him to kind of push on.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
I mean, alternatively, if he just sits there, doesn't pull away, then we might be entitled to have a go back at him. But I think he will pull away. So what we wouldn't want to do is sit in front of George, push him back into the pack, and then risk us losing 3rd and 4th.
Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake. Use overtake.
We're not getting past. We're sitting. Consolidation mode. Look at that. Look at how much rear grip we've lost. We've already got Gasly on the back of us now. Running out of fuel as well. So now we're going to back these guys up if we can.
The car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second per lap. There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining. Hamilton's out in front.
Right, we're in full concentrate mode. We've got a little bit of a fortuitous run off the last corner. Hopefully we've saved enough fuel. Just to be safe, I'll flip it back down.
Gap to car in front is 7.0 seconds.
Yeah, George is gone. Gone. That's what I did. By holding him up. Missed the corner. It's so difficult to control now. We're good on fuel. Boost, we're going to push him to the outside. Lewis wins. We've got a train behind us. Tyres have gone. Keep the fourth. It's a good team win.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Happy with that. We have to limp the car home.
And Mercedes have pulled
Full
off
on
a
sweat
great victory
concentrate
here today.
mode for the last probably quarter
So
of that
Anthony,
race.
what made the difference out there today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody
Important win
played
for
their
Lewis.
part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
He's still trying to fight for that title. He's still trying. Got to give props to him for that. Even though he's like 100 points down. And then George with the podium.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Gardner. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Alright, so Lewis Hamilton takes the win ahead of Max Verstappen. George Russell gets his first podium in Formula 1. We come home fourth, about 9 seconds behind. Just that's how much our performance degraded across the last third of that race, I would say. Then we've got the Red Bulls and the McLarens, and a cheeky little Charles Leclerc in there in 8th place. Sergio still doesn't score. Wasn't such a hot move going to Ferrari now, was it, Sergio? So we've outscored our main rivals, all of them, so that's perfect for us. I mean, we can't really beat Mercedes. The car isn't good enough. I mean, it is on like raw stats, but yeah, there's just something about like Hamilton and Verstappen with the Mercedes as well. They're just untouchable. Going a bit further down, everybody finished the race, which is good. Matsushita's outperforming Giovinazzi since his driver move, which is interesting. Bottas is still, he's the world champion, he's trying his best, but the Racing Point is not that great a car this year. So really, let's see what it's done to, and obviously Lewis beat us for that fastest lap by a couple of hundredths of a second. So that would have been nice to get the extra point for that, but never mind. Let's do highlights. A lot of places made up at the start. Just dived up the inside. We're tucked up behind that racing point, and then we just come sailing through. I mean, it was quite clean. To be fair. So that was the dodgy one, where I thought we were going to get penalised. We didn't. This was the first stage of the race where we just tucked in behind George, pulled out a gap over the McLarens in 5th. Just tried to stay in touch with those Mercedes up front, which was hard as well. But it was good to see that our race pace is actually matching Mercedes for, you know, small periods, but we were able to keep up with them. Oh, this was the move on George. So I think all those laps spent behind George probably ate our tyres away a little bit, and then we started developing problems with the actual engine and some of the parts. And then yeah, you can see we're just starting to drop off the back of the Mercedes. And then there's me just holding up everybody at the end. In terms of standings, not really much. George Russell is starting to get a load of points from being with us. He didn't score any for Alfa Romeo. So yeah, he's starting to pop up the rankings now, and Sergio Perez is starting to stagnate. Ferrari doesn't look like a great car. We also edge closer towards Red Bull and eke out a bit more of a lead over McLaren. It was 20 points the gap between us and McLaren. It's now gone up to 37 with this good result here in Hungary. So we are taking strides to get that 3rd place. It's going to mean some more money at the end of the season. And I'm kind of consolidating some of this best of the rest behind the 2 Mercedes cars. So embroiled in a battle with the 2 Red Bull drivers. Hopefully. I think as a target it would be nice to get 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, but I'm more interested in this table, to be honest. I mean, the fact that I pulled over and let George through and gave up an extra 3 points is probably indicative of that. So yeah, good weekend. Qualifying was disappointing again, but we are making it up in the race, so I am happy with that. If we can look to improve qualifying a little bit, I know we keep saying that, but it is hard. Keep doing as well as we can in the races. Keep George under contract now, because he's doing as well as Sergio was, but for cheaper. And then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, I've had a blast with this race, and in the wet as well. I'm normally not very good in the wet, but we had a nice consistent pace. So yeah, and we'll see if we can do some upgrades or change out some of the parts that are failing, so we've got some fresh sets for the next race. because we don't want to be ailing around with a broken car if possible. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, drop me some comments. I'm sure there's going to be some comments about that dodgy pass on that McLaren early on, so I fully expect that. And yeah, thank you for watching the video. Thanks for coming along on the JDM adventure, and we'll see you again in the next video. Until next time, see you guys.